I just went to go pick up some more fish today. If you've seen one of my previous videos, you know that I'm having issues with some kind of disease or something in my aquaponic system. So I got the fish. Now I'm gonna quarantine in here. I'm gonna try again and see if I can get it to work. Then if these do die, the bluegill I got, then I'm gonna try with goldfish, and just so I can get the thing running, so I have a lot of growing space, but I don't have enough nutrients in the water. Because I do have some fish alive. I mean, don't get me wrong, I got a ton of bluegill in there still already. But whenever I add new fish, because I still need a lot of fish to produce more waste for my system to run, for some reason they keep getting this like white, I believe it's like a fungus or something, I'm not sure exactly on them. But right now, so I pretty much this morning I went to go pick up $100 worth of bluegill from the same place I've been getting them. It's called Timo Fish Hatchery. I'll post a link at the bottom and maybe somewhere along here. But it's a very nice place. I mean, they only have public sale days once in a while, but when you go there, it is a very nice atmosphere. The people there are very nice. The owners, just nice to speak to them. So if you do live in this area, I'd recommend going up there to get some fish for your aquaponic system, or if you live in Sacramento, because that's where it is. It's definitely very beneficial to interact with the people you're getting the fish from. So it's cool. So now that I have those, so I'm going to quarantine them in here for maybe 3 weeks. Right now I'm just adding fresh water, and then I'll eventually add water from my aquaponic system into here so that they can get used to that and see how it goes. This is the tank I'm quarantining the new fish in. If you've seen like the first few videos of my aquaponic system, you would have seen that this was originally a tank that I had over there, but now it's one that I have here. So just letting the fish acclimate to the water temperature, adding new water before I add water from here. So basically this tank is connected to the aquaponic system via this pipe here. So eventually I will have it running where water will come into here and then overflow into this sump area. And then also I can always bypass it with that, which I still need to connect. But this is the place where I'm going to be quarantining the fish. It's 300 gallons, but I won't have 300 gallons of water in here. So, and then after this is connected to the aquaponic system and running, I'll have to set up a different kind of quarantine thing. I need to figure out how to do that for when I get other fish or anything else of that sort. Think the net's big enough?
No.
This is the second day of the fish being in here. They're definitely moving around more from the first day, since it was kind of a shock. They still haven't eaten yet, so hopefully they start doing that soon. And then these guys I'll put into this tank. I still need to fix it because the fish will be able to swim down through that one. The one side has a pipe going up, or a what do you call it, solids lifting overflow, but I'll need to put one on this side before I add these fish to there. I'm putting this other one in, but this is basically how the pipe looks inside. Basically black with all these slits on both sides, and then a cap at the bottom, and the cap has some holes on it. Ideally you just want holes at the bottom, but I put slits on the side because I didn't want to have any issues with clogging and then overflowing, because it's going to go in here. I mean, it won't damage the fish or anything, but then because all these tanks are the highest points, there's nothing pumping out of them. But if the pump overflows from here, some fish might get out. and then the pump will run dry and my plants won't get anything. But yeah, that's pretty much how that looks. Just added this on here as well as the pipe on that side. I have to put the bowl valve here because this tank is slightly angled, so more water comes out this way, and by having this bowl valve I'm able to adjust that. But I almost overflowed this just now since I wasn't paying attention, so it's got to go down. Got them fish right there, can barely see them, but quarantining the fish is kind of a drag because you gotta wait, put them into your system, but it is good. It could be the mistake I made in the last few times I got fish. Maybe they're just a little more sensitive to the change since I drove from Sacramento to here, which is like 2 hours. I haven't had any of this kind of issue with my pond or aquariums, so now I'm quarantining these before I put them in here, and hopefully that is good for them and makes it so that they can survive when I put them into my system. This is the third day with the bluegill in here. I still have to figure out some kind of filtration for them, but they are still not eating yet. So like in 2 days I will add water from the aquaponics system, 2 or 1 day, so either tomorrow or the next day, so that way they start to get used to the different levels of what's in my aquaponics system. So now the water from the aquaponics system is being added, and I'll still wait a good 2 more weeks, 2.5 more weeks. I still need to put a screen thing on there so these fish don't get in there. But now it's the true test, so we'll see how they do. So now I let them get used to this area because it was stressful from being transferred here. So it's good that I put them in fresh water, and now I'm just, this added water will be from here. So if there's any reason why the fish were dying before, I can hopefully catch it. This is day 10, so the fish are looking good. They're starting to eat now. The ammonia did spike, so I did drain some of the water and change it since I don't have a filter on here yet. Or I don't even know if I'm gonna put a filter on here. So the only issue I had was with 2 fish. 1 fish was dead, and then there's this fish that I just put in this bucket that is just staying at the top on the sides. So just trying to minimize all the issues that arise. But at the beginning they didn't even eat the food, all they did was spit it out. So it's good that they're eating now. It's been 2 weeks now since I've had these fish in this quarantine tank. So ideally you want to wait between 2 to 4 weeks. So I'll go another week, even though I would want to put them in the tank right there. So during this time I lost one. I found it in here one morning dead, and then there was another one that was just on the side. It looked a little funny, so I took it out and put it in a bucket, and now it also passed away or died. But so far the other fish are looking good. They're eating the food, they're more active. So we'll wait another week and then add them to the aquaponics system. It's been a little over 2 weeks of me having these fish in this quarantine tank. So right now I'm going to add them into the aquaponics system. Ideally it is between 2 to 4 weeks that you want to wait. I might have mentioned that already, but I want to put them in now instead of waiting until the 3-week mark, because there are in here there's like big and small sizes, and when I took some of the small ones out, you can see that they're very skinny, so they're not getting enough food. So I'm going to separate, put the bigger ones in this tank here, and then some smaller ones in another tank. So that will, for me, I think it's the best, even though I wanted to wait 3 weeks. But from how the fish are doing, they seem very good. They're eating very lively, very active. So the best option right now for me is just to separate them and put them into 2 different spots. Ideally I would have wanted to have a filter on here, but instead I just changed the water and replaced it. But right now I'm going to separate and put the bigger ones into here. There's already 2 in here. I don't know if I can see them, but I put 2 in here just to see how they do earlier today. So far so good. So there you have it. I just finished putting the fish in these two tanks. So I put the big ones in here. So I put 40 bluegill in there, and then I put 45 in here. So these are the smaller ones. So I separated them so that I can, so the smaller ones can get some food versus the bigger ones eating it all, since I still have one in here that got quite skinny. So I did lose 2 through the process. I had them quarantined for a little over 2 weeks. I was going to go for 3 weeks, but decided to separate them now since they looked healthy and some of them were getting skinny since the bigger ones were eating it all. In a previous video, or in the update I posted that was pretty recently, maybe like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I said I was going to get some goldfish just to basically cycle the system, but instead I decided just to go with the bluegill again to see how it goes instead of getting the goldfish and then feeding them the organic fish food I have. So I'll update you on these fish to see how they do in maybe 3-4 weeks, just to see where they're at. So hopefully these ones survive since I quarantined them, but we'll see how it goes. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Remember to give a thumbs up and subscribe.